You tuned in Rotation, the podcast with Street Team Heck. We going raw, we going the realest of the real, and we going uncut. It is rotation. We will go into conspiracy theories. We're not gonna push nothing as fact if it's not. We will put the disclaimer in there. You feel me? I don't even care, bro. I jumped in this podcast game ready for all this stuff. I mean, the only thing is on that. You already know what time it is. Get in rotation.
Okay. So let me read this to you, man, right? And this is Jesus speaking, right? And it's called The Parable of the Rich Fool, right? He goes, someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." Jesus replied, "Men who appointed me a judge, who appointed me a judge to be between you two, right?" Then he said to them, "Watch out, be on guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in abundance of possessions," right? And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest, right? He thought to himself, "What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "This is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store up my grain. And I'll say to myself, I have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be for whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich towards God." You get what I'm saying? So these things are being told to you, right? The parable of the rich fool, the man that had it, right? And he stored it up for himself in abundance. But God is telling you right out the gate, it ain't about what you do here. It ain't about that. It ain't about what you're storing up here, right? Because whatever you have here, and it goes back to the old saying, you can't take it with you when you die, right? Yeah. That's like, that's the cliche saying you've been hearing for, they say forever. It in movies. Yeah. You can't take it with you when you die. So do what you can do here, and it might go the wrong way with people that live it up because you can't do nothing with it when you die, right? Yeah. But God is letting you know the abundance that you create for yourself means nothing, right? Because you're rich, but you're only rich here. You're not rich towards God. You're not rich in your soul, right? And then that goes to the point of you making where it's like, man, damn, I got to be in the dirt in order, right? But some of the richest people are the poorest people. Why do you think so many people go, life was easier when I was broke? A lot of rich people say that.
Yeah,
right.
Like
it's always like, man, if I could just get that feeling back, what it felt like to spend my last $20 on a pizza with me and my boys, bumming it out.
And that should be the best.
And it'd be the best, right? Yeah. And everybody's just happy, right? But there it goes to say, right? You can't serve me and serve money, right? And if I bless you with an abundance of funds, please, by all means, do what's right with it, right? There was another man, right? He goes, "God, Jesus, I want to follow you. And what do I do?" And he's just like, "I've done everything." You know what I mean? And Jesus is like, "Yeah, you've done it all. Yeah, for sure. You've done it all. You know what I mean? I've always stuck to the law. I've always abided. You know what I mean? I love God. Yeah, you do. But here's what I need you to do. I need you to take all your possessions. I need to take all your wealth, give it to the poor, and come follow me." And when he heard that, he turned away and walked away from him sadly, because he possessed a lot of things. You get what I'm saying? And nobody can say nothing to God in the sense like, well, why would you ask me to do that? Well, let's bring it back to the very essence of it. God gave you everything. He gave up everything. He bankrupted heaven for you, right? He gave his only son. What more can you ask God to give to you, right? So the same things, the same love that has been displayed for you is the same love that you're expected to give, right? So if God blesses me, right, and he goes and if it's a part of His will, because like I said, sometimes I wrestle with that thought, right? When I'm deep into the books and what I want to do and how I want to generate this wealth and do all that, I tell God, man, please let this be a part of Your will, right? Because my heart and I want to do good things, right? And I'm not in the business of being like, man, I need a 8-room bedroom house, and you know what I mean. Like the more my kids get older, the more and more they're gonna leave home. The smaller my house should get, as far as my living conditions.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like if I end up being in a 1-bedroom home where it's just me and my wife because all our kids are grown up and they're gone, then by all means that's all I need. But if I can build, or I can get a place where I can I can house 12 people that are struggling.
Yeah.
Man, let the house be great by numbers. Let it be big. You know what I mean? Let's set up some foundation, right? Because ministry can go many ways, and that's why it's Unite Ministry, right? And that's why I took a liking to what's being formed in Unite Ministry, right? Because it's me, my wife, and there's about other I want to say 4 to 5 different couples, right? Husbands and wives, and for the longest we wanted to see what the angle was. You know what I mean? Where are we going? What are we doing? You know what I mean? Even questioning it myself at times.
Right.
And realizing like, man, we can go anywhere we want to, right? We can go anywhere we want to. I can start a whole ministry on helping fathers, right? And I can get a group of men to get together. And we can base what we're doing off of God and the foundation, right? To help us and guide us. But in the aspects, yes, we can do things. We can build wealth for you to go ahead and get on your feet, get you a home so you have a place to take your kids and feel safe at, right? Because a lot of things in the courts is like, oh, do you have a house? Does your kid have a room? Do you have a place that your kid can be, whatever? We can do all that in the midst of that. And the beautiful thing is watch God work. Take this word right here. We're gonna study it, we're gonna learn it, and we're gonna be transformed within. And all the other things God is gonna put into place. Right? Because Jesus goes, don't chase the things that this world chases, right? Don't worry about what the pagans want, right? The money, the clothes, the food, the shelter. God knows you need that, right? He says, look at the birds in the air, right? They don't have a home, they don't have nothing, but your Heavenly Father feeds them every day, right? And he goes, if he does that for them, how much more important do you think he is? You are to him. He's gonna provide for you. But the first thing I need you to do is seek me in the kingdom, right? Seek God in kingdom. And all of those things that you want, they'll be given to you. Now he knows he's not going to give you a Lambo, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're asking for all that stuff, but he will give you everything you provided for, right?
But is it bad to have a Lambo? That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Just slap Jesus is Lord on there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
hey.
Because I 100% agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, shit.
Is it bad to have things? No, I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't. Deep down in my heart, I don't think it's bad to have things. But I think you're such a good dude, and the thing is you have a good heart, right? And I don't got to know much of you to know that. I just got to know some sort of character of you, right. Where I would know if you hopped in a Lambo and you drove through your hood, right? Which is not smart to do. But
right,
if you would see a bunch of hurt people and you would ultimately feel like a jerk.
Yeah, I would be like, this is stupid.
This is stupid. Yeah, so yeah, cool. But eventually,
that's how I feel for other people when they do it.
Yeah, so
because I don't want a Lambo. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like I definitely want a nice ass car. You know what I'm saying? Some reliable shit.
Yeah, of course. Everybody should have some transportation A to B, and you should be able to have a car that's reliable. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man, at all.
No,
you get what I'm saying? But
shit, I know. I don't know if you know, dude, but it's a Puerto. I guess you think he's Puerto Rican. I ain't gonna put him out there like that, but he on the south side. And he got like a Audi fucking truck, bro. So cold. That motherfucker like at least 180 racks.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog. And he in the ghetto. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. And he a pastor. You know what I mean?
I mean, trust me. There's a just because. All right. Well, we'll touch on that subject real quick, right? There's a lot of and what they're called is let me find the right word for it. Like a prosper gospel, like people that actually do take people's money and gain from it. You get what I'm saying? But that's the thing, like it's all in here. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not putting it to my phone because obviously, I don't have the actual book, but in scripture, you read about people that use God's word to gain wealth. It's true. It's true. It's inevitable. You know what I mean? Like
they got whole shows about that.
oh
shit.
man, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, you got people with jets. You got people with you got people with compounds and 3-4 houses on one land, and then you go in their churches and they got a $20,000 vase holding flowers, and you got people out here starving, right?
Starving.
But and that's where it goes, bro. And
you don't even hold a soup kitchen and shit. Man.
Nah, and see, and this is the thing, man, and this is why it's so important, to get in the community. You get what I'm saying? Because imagine what 20,000 can do, and it's not much. 20,000 is not a lot of money,
especially
right?
not today. Yeah.
And even if you were like, there's over 1 million people inside of Milwaukee, right? There's over 1 million people within your city limits, right? So that little bit couldn't help much, but you can meet basic needs. You get what I'm saying? You can meet the basic, clothes, shelter. You get what I'm saying? You can do something with that. And this is not to take away from anything that's going on, because you almost have to check yourself, right? And let me speak for myself when I say this. Sometimes I'm in big churches, right? Yeah. Sometimes I'm in big churches, and I almost start to feel animosity in my heart. And the reason why,
as far as what?
As far as looking around and being like, what's going on here? Yeah. Like is this really what it's about? You know what I mean? And then I almost have to check myself, because it's just like the enemy starts to seep in and it starts to divide me, right? Because within those church walls, there are things going on. There are people righteously doing things.
I mean, ideally, every fucking place of worship should be like that.
Yeah, it should be ideally, right? But at the same time,
I'm just saying, if you're thinking about the creator of everything known, you know what I mean, and you want to worship him, and the message that's being pushed out based on all that, you know what I mean, you would think that all churches are nice like that, but you would also ideally think that they're fucking they're in full rotation of helping people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I mean though. Like,
yeah, and it could be. You know what I mean? Like,
it could be. I'm sure there is some that there's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying there's not, but
and there could be, right? And there could be, and that's why you have to check. Like me myself, I have to check myself, because I'm just like, man, get that thought out of my brain. You know what I mean? Because I can see what the enemy is doing to me right now. Like he's making me feel this way, because why? Because they're not where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, they're not in the hood with me, and they're not doing nothing with me. They're not doing nothing with, like, we in this big place, man, and there's so much shit. But little do I know, they building churches, across the country. You know what I mean? Whatever they doing over there, man, God bless them, and the whole movement, right? And I appreciate that, and with all my heart, I appreciate that. I just got to check myself, man, because I don't need to get wrapped up in what the next person is doing. I don't need to get wrapped up in what the next ministry or the next church is doing. I just need to be in the lane that God called me in, right? Yeah. And if God has called me to go to the neighborhoods and go back to the trenches, then that's where I want to be. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to be nowhere else. You don't need to put me in a big building, man. Put me in this room right now and fill it up with men and watch church happen. You know what I mean? Put me in this room full of men, women, and we could talk about, we could talk about what we need to talk about. We don't need all of this, right? And be that as it may, right? So you know how sometimes, you got a friend that's struggling, right? And you want to do as much as you can, right? So imagine there's 20 of us, and we know out the 20 of us, one's doing bad, right? And all of us are we can be cold-hearted at times, where we're just like, man, that's your fault. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you keep doing the same stupid stuff, bro, and no matter what help you get, you just gonna keep messing up, right? Yeah. But let's just say it was a basic need, right? And out that 20 people, we blow $20 on whatever. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? We can go out to eat, spend 50 real quick, and not even think about it, and then see something at the store that we need, pick it up for 20, and be like, I'm not getting this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get it later. Yeah. You know what I mean? But imagine just being in the hood and having these men gather all together, and then someone's just like, yeah, I am hurting. You know what I mean? Like, I do need this. And then out them 20 men, everybody's just like, well, here. Everybody throw a dub in there. We can meet basic needs. We can help people out. You know what I'm saying? But we got to come together, and we got to unite, right? And we got to do the basic of it, because that's all you really need is the basic needs met, right? You're happy with some food, you're happy with some shelter. And if you don't, by all means, man, trust me. And these are not even like faith founded, you know, people that are believing in God, but there's so much help in Milwaukee that people do not know about. You walk across so many buildings, and you know why a lot of people, you look at a lot of people that are homeless, and you look at them and you're like, man, bro, I know some of these buildings, that help you out. But the truth is you don't want the help. You know why? Because there's something obviously on your back. Right, there's that addiction, and if I go into one of these homes that are willing to sober me up, give me food, give me a shelter, I know I got to give up what I love, or not even what I love, what I hate.
I'm chasing,
what I hate.
The thing that I hate so much that I chase.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So
I just did one of those buildings at work.
Yeah,
the rescue mission,
man, and that's lovely,
and
right?
All their employees, I believe, are people who were there.
Yeah,
and they all. Like, it's a church-based thing. Like, they all go to church together, and they all, you know what I'm saying? And they all work there now. Yeah. Some of them moved out of there, got their own house and shit. But some of them, I think, stay there, if I'm not mistaken. But even if they don't, if they go home and come back, but that's their job now. But they came there homeless, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, they like I said, they go to church together. They all preach the word of God and all that, and then now they're still working there years later, you know what I mean? And they're doing it for other people. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, and I seen that shit, I was like, damn, they really doing that shit.
Okay, so there you go. You seen it for yourself. You know what I mean? And you got to witness that. You got to witness people that had nothing help build something together, and now are helping other people.
Yeah, but they got donations all day.
All day long.
They got people just literally their job is to stock the donations.
Yeah,
they got plenty food. They had whole shit.
Cause God will provide. Cause God will provide. They put their trust in God, right? They had nothing. They came in there with nothing, and now they have so much that is stored.
Yeah, man,
I'm telling you, like when someone says, "Oh, you got to be," like you said, you got to be, down and out. Not man, like, and sometimes I clown around when people say that, and I tell them, does it look like I've been left off bad and bougie?
Looking at,
hey,
do it look like it?
Does it look like I've been left off?
You said what?
No, man, God provides, provides. You know what I mean? And I work, right? And I work, you know what I'm saying? But I have what I need. Do I want more? Of course I want more. And is God going to give me more? Oh, you better believe he's going to provide, and he's going to bless me abundantly. But at the same time, what am I chasing? Am I chasing him, right? Or am I chasing what it is that he can give me? Man.
And that's like, it's hard to decipher. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to decipher that. Like, how sometimes your mind tricks you into thinking, because everything you said, that shit makes hella sense, bro. Like, that's a terrible term to use, right? Hella sense looking at. No, but it makes sense to the point where it's like, damn, like, it's really, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just really all that. Like you said, I've had nothing, but I've always had love. Like, everybody in my family loves me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, and he provides, like you said, that literally it all ties in perfectly, because that's literally what happened. I couldn't tell you how the fuck, like, what?
Like how it happened. But
how the fuck? All I know is that I definitely, at any given time or moment, some shit went down and I felt a certain way. That's the first thing I said. And it wasn't like I was like, oh God, I swear I'll never do this shit again. Like,
we've all done that too.
No, I've done that too. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, for the majority of it wasn't like that. It was more of a fucking, like, I need you right now. Like, because if you don't help me, this is it for me.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, it's it for me.
Like, hey,
and that's another thing. Like, people don't ever take that into account, fam. Like I said, I don't consider myself to be that kind of person, and not to say that kind, but I don't consider myself to be like that. But I just know, bro, because I've felt shit that I can't explain the feeling.
Oh yeah,
you just feel it. It's
feel
there,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
You're like, and it's
that
so
presence.
Like, it's just there, fam. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been blessed with that feeling in dangerous situations. Like, I could see that shit from fucking. I'm talking about, nigga. I could see a couple over here in the peripheral, like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I told you to run. I'll be like,
Oh, it's about to go down.
I'll just look, and if I could see right away, I'm like, and I get this feeling, bro, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's
time to go.
Yeah, and the thing is like you know, we talk about fear, right? Because God goes, I didn't make you to be timid and fear. You know what I mean? Fearful. Like I made you to be courageous and bold. You know what I mean? Like that's how I formed you to stand on yours, right? But stand on it righteously, you know,
Yeah.
by you know, by my commands and my you know, my ways of life. And trust that I'll be right there with you, standing bold with you, you know, making sure nothing, you know, can, you know, any weapon form can't prosper against you. You know what I mean? Because you're with me, and nothing could touch you. And if the day comes when you got to go home, then just know that I'm calling you home. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That's just a good sense of fear, and not in a scary way, but it's a warning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same. It's the same.
It's literally
thing.
a warning.
It's a warning, right? So, and God gives you that all through life, right? And He's also and like you said, man, I know God wants me to, and He wants me to. Okay, well, and it scares me if I don't. You know what I mean? Like if I don't, well, that's a warning, right? You sense it in your heart. God is already warning you. Hey, man, and God is already explaining to you. Right? Hey, man, don't worry about what you are, what you ain't. Like, I'm not concerned about that. You know what I mean? Like, I just need you to you know what I mean, surrender. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and in the sense of giving up, I'm not telling you to give up, you know, everything and anything. Like, but like, you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta, you know, give to get, right? So, and the thing is that let me backtrack that, right? Because God doesn't need you. Right? He doesn't need you, but He wants you, right? Because with or without you, the plan's in motion, right? He's coming back, right? And He's gonna, you know what I mean, put everybody in their place and stand on His throne and you know, be with His people. The plan's in motion, right? Revelations, right? Everything's laid out. Bless those who read it,
Yeah.
right? This is in motion already, right? Jesus came and he pretty much laid it all down. Right? There's the warning, right? It's the warning already. It's to fear God.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Fam.
Yeah, like fear me, and fear me in a righteous reverence. You know what I mean? Fear me with a deep love, right? You know, kids naturally fear their dad, but they don't fear them in the sense like, man, my dad is brutally gonna, you know, hurt me in the sense, you know, even though some fathers and some mothers are like that, you know, I mean, that's unfortunate. But in a sense, you fear your mom, you fear your dad out of respect and love, right? So it's the same thing for your father, right? You respect, you fear him, but out of respect and love, right? Because if your kid don't listen to you, right, you're gonna feel like they don't love you, they don't care about you. You're sitting there explaining everything to them, letting them know, hey, you go down that route, bad things are gonna happen, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, by all means, God will turn you over to yourself. He'll let you he'll let you have your own life in your hands. And then after you mess it up and you do all the bad things with it, and then he'll simply ask you, how's it going? How's it going since I've given you your life to you, and you haven't let me be the main source and be the one in control of it, right? Because you want to be in control of it, and by all means, be in control. But tell me, how's it working, right? And even when you go in the sense of, I'm a good dude, I do this, I do that, right? Cool, right? I'll bless you even in the midst of that. But tell me something. Is there something still missing? What's missing? It can't be more, right? Because guess what? Gotta give you that home that you want, and gotta give you that abundance that you've been asking for and all of that. But then after that, tell me, is there still something missing? Yeah, because you can be as rich as you want to be, but you broke inside your soul. Like He said, you're rich here on earth, but you ain't rich towards me.
Yeah. That's
why a lot of people, you go to these other countries and man, they're having church on a dirt road in some shacks, and those are the people that are really rich. Those are the people that are really, really wealthy in spirit, right? Because they know what it is to have nothing but depend on what they can't see and what they can't feel.
I feel that for real, because like some of the best times in my life, I was broke and shit. I ain't had nothing.
Yeah.
And it was the best times ever, like the most laughter.
Yeah.
The most love felt, you know what I mean? I don't think I laughed for real, like a childish, youthful fucking laugh
Just
looking ass
cracking
nigga.
up.
Just dying laughing. It's been a minute, bro.
Right.
A super minute, fam. Like,
Right.
and it's like I laugh, obviously. I be having a good time and shit, but it's like, now that the more you get, you know, more money, more problems. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's super facts. Like the
Yeah.
more you have, fam, the more shit that come with it, because you just have all this shit, you know. And trust me, I definitely feel that. Like that's something that, you know, like I said, I just feel like I don't constrict myself to you know, I don't subscribe to one way of seeing God, you know what I mean? Like one way of accepting him and all that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I see it a little different, you know what I'm saying? Like I believe in, you know, God is in everyone, you know what I mean? Like you have him in you already, bro. You just have to utilize it, you know what I mean? Like I believe that shit truly in my heart, because I feel like I've always had that, fam. I couldn't explain to you why the fuck got to use it or whatever. I don't know. I never got that deep into it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And the thing is like this. You know, you could have something, right? You can always have something, but you know, you can always have a sibling. You can always have your girl, right? But we all know at times that we can neglect that. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can have things, but do you embrace it? Do you neglect it? Do you spend time with it? You know what I mean? Do you cherish it? Right? Because God is always going to be with you, right? And he's never going to forsake you, right? That's what he says, right? Trust in me. I'll never leave you, never forsake you, which is true. But just because you have something doesn't mean that you have a connection with it. Because you can have kids, and that's why some kids grow up like, you don't know me. Like, you've never spent time with me.
Yeah, you didn't even connect.
You didn't even connect with me. What's the same? It's sort of the same difference, right? God is always there, but you ain't never connected with him, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have the choice to.
You have a choice
to search for him, bro.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
so there's like we're in one of the men's group homes, and I won't mention it. You know, obviously for the privacy reasons, right?
Right.
One of them in one of the men's group homes, and just this past week, there's this older man, and he's smart. You know what I mean? He's smart, and he's a good dude. But he's always referring to God, like, the higher power. I don't know what God it is. It could be a he, it could be a she. He could, be this one, be that one. Right. And he says it enough to the point where I'm just like, all right, I gotta say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just basically told him, I said, hey man, if that's how you truly feel and you really know that something's out there, and you're stating it, right? But you just don't know which one it is or what it is or how it is, right? Yeah. And you want to, put yourself in the category where like, well, back to what I was saying, like, well, what God is real? How can I pick this God? By all means, find out, man. Figure it out. I mean, if you got to sit there and read, one belief and the next belief, by all means, do the comparisons. Do whatever you need to do. Seek and find it, right? Seek and find it, right? And I stand on that behind what I believe in, right? Because like I said, and I didn't get into the story, but I'll share it shortly, right? I never had God in my life, right? My parents never, put it in my life. I told you about my mom, told you about my dad's situation, right? To growing up, Jesus was a man with a voice. He was a good man. He was just a man with a voice. He was a Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Like, he was a man with a voice that got killed by, trying to, speak for the people. Right? That's all I knew so much in my mind, in my set of mind. And also I had the mentality, God knows who I am. You know what I mean? He knows what I do. That was my mentality. I was right there with everybody else that thinks the same way. Right. And then, in the midst of bad relationships, whatever, I came across this book that it was always sitting in the room, and I opened it, right? And I started to read it, from the beginning, right? And it's just the New Testament. It wasn't, the Old Testament wasn't a part of it. It was just the New Testament. But it had like broke things down, like, what is God? What is the devil? What are demons? What is family? What is tithing? The whole aspect of, serving God and what it is, right? And I remember reading it, right? And what's crazy is that I had to stop at one point and ask myself, and these is real questions that I asked myself. I said, let's just say God isn't real, right? And I told myself, hypothetically speaking, let's just say God isn't real, and none of this is true, and it's true what everybody says, right? This is just a man-made written book. So many men have contribute to scripture, and this is nothing. You know what I mean? This is just some book that's trying to put me in order and make me this good person that I know that I'm not, right? Let's just say God's not real, right? And remember how we grew up, right? We grew up with some type of common sense, right? If not, we had people around us that were going to put us on game, right? OGs, right? And you had some.
We definitely knew how you could get fucked up or not.
Yeah, like and
shit'll fuck you up if you don't do it.
Yeah, and not only that, you had somebody. There was always somebody that was good to tell you right from wrong, even when it came to street stuff, right? Like, hey man, don't be riding around with this. Don't be taking this to school. Don't be kicking it.
That's how you get in a situation you're definitely not trying to be in.
Right. So you had good people in your life to show you things, right? And you had love, right? Your big homie show you love, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, right? Like you said, a gang, a loyalty. You had love, you had that, right? So I had to sit there and ask myself, I said, hypothetically speaking, let's just say God isn't real, right? And none of this stuff even exists. And there's no moral compass to life. And you pretty much can put a gun to somebody's head and lights out, and you can go to bed peacefully knowing that there's no consequences to that in your afterlife, right?
Right.
I looked at that. I looked at those words. I read those words, and nothing, I mean nothing, heck, in my life have made more sense in the common sense of what love truly was. That's what won me over. It wasn't so much of, oh, this is God and Jesus and he died. No, it was actually what was being said. That took me into a deeper root with it. You know what I mean? Like that, like nothing made more sense to me. And I've had wise men in my life, and I've had OGs, and I've had a lot of people. I've had teachers try to, put it all into me. You always had that one teacher that was like your, like Makai, like your dangerous mind teacher. You know what I mean? Like that.
Miss Degenhart, fam. She took me to the fucking thing.
Hey, you see?
She strutting me around that motherfucker. I was surprised. Like, this is my new band player.
Yeah. Hey, but you always had that one that believed in you, right? Yeah.
Crazy.
Through all of that in life, through all of that in life, nothing made more sense than the love that I was reading about. That's what won me over. That's what people would say, oh, converted you. Nah, man, it's the love. It's the love that won me over. It's the true meaning behind it. It's the way that we act, the way we treat each other, the way that, we boast on things. We have pride. God hates pride. But your whole life you're taught like, man, pride. Like, I pride myself on those things, right? But he goes,
I actually stopped trying to say I'm proud of. I'm not proud of you, bro. I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying?
No, and you could, you know what I mean. You could be proud of somebody, but I can accept that humbly. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it goes to a lot of things that he said. The meek shall inherit the earth, the humble shall, you know what I mean? Like those type of things. You get what I'm saying? So it was the love that won me over. And what's crazy is the book that I ended up coming across was dedicated to a woman from a man in prison. Right, he gave it to her. It was like a little love letter on the cover, where on the side of the cover.
The man in prison gave it to her.
Gave it to her, and it was like, to my love, whatever. So whatever.
And that's what
right?
the book was from. Him writing it.
He sent the book to her. Because I guess while in prison he found God. You know what I mean? So he sent that book, and she probably was just like, well, whatever, and just left it in the house, didn't throw it away out of the respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that because of that, because of him, right? And not because of him, but because that's how God moves. That's the chills, you know what I mean, on your arms. That's the goosebumps. That's how God moves. That he knew that book that man delivered to that woman would one day make it inside of my hands. And it would change my life. And not only would it change my life, but it would change my wife's life. It would change my kids' lives. It would knock me off the course that I was on, right? The road to destruction and death, and would put me on the path of eternal life. That's the way God moves. You get what I'm saying? So once I started reading, I couldn't put it down.
What's the name of the book?
It's the Bible. The New Testament.
I thought you was
No, it was the Bible. It was the New Testament. Yeah. That's the book. You know what I mean? And but
you never said that earlier, right? You said you was just calling it the book, right?
Yeah, the book. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But
I was like, damn, did I miss something?
No, it was the book. You get what I'm saying? Like that's like I said, and that's when I started to read, and I was like, hey, what if God's not real? This is all just bull, whatever. It's nothing good, you know. But like I said, it was the love that won me over. It was the conviction of myself and my ways, right? But remember, that's just the beginning of the journey, because I've been on this walk going on 7 years. And remember when we seen each other the other day, what I told you, and I have no shame saying this whatsoever. And my brothers know this, right? My brothers in Christ know this. My sisters in Christ know this. I have been taking this walk for almost 7 years, and I've only been sober about 1.5 years. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of foot in, foot out. There's a lot of discipline in a sense, right? Because I would have those moments where I would go back to what I was doing, right? Because I still didn't know how to deal with my anger. I still didn't know how to deal with my anxiety, my depression, right? And people don't like to admit that they have that, but they do. You get what I'm saying? Like, as a man, you don't want to be like, I'm depressed. Boy, you know you sad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
sad,
you sad, bro. Like, stop playing. You sad, and you can. But you know what? It's hard to tell when you sitting there sipping some Henny and you laughing at things that don't matter, and you sitting there rolling up and you smoking, right? Because that's what I did, right? I'm smoking, and I don't take away from nobody that's in the midst of it, bro. Trust me. Do I think about it as much as I used to? No. But there be times where I was clean, 2 months, 3 months, 4, 5, 6 months, 7 months, and then boom, I fall back into it, and I'll get the blowing and smoking and drinking, and then boom, I'd be like, this is why. You start feeling that emptiness again, and I'm just like, man, like I miss God. You know what I mean? Like you almost start to feel tormented by it, because you're just like, I know this isn't it. Like I know this ain't right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I ain't gotta sit there and have nobody preach to me, and I ain't even gotta be in the word. Like, something in my soul is grieving. And that's the thing, right? Once you invite God into your life and you go through the steps, and God comes to go ahead and rest in you, right? Because they say, oh, the Holy Spirit, he's your helper. He's gonna come and he's gonna be with you, right? But the thing is that also what's also said is you can grieve the Holy Spirit. And we all know what the word grieve means, right? To just be, just let down, sad and everything. So when you're in the midst of hurting and hurting yourself, in the sense of just going to the substance abuse and sleeping with the women to get your mind off of one woman, you're hurting. Nothing's fulfilling you. You're in the midst of all that pain, and you're turning to all the things that only numb it. Nothing to honestly take it away from you. Right. So in those moments, I was being double-minded and sitting there and going in one foot in, one foot out, still doing the things that I would do every now and then. Because like I said, it's been almost 7 years and I've only been sober 1.5 years. That should go to show you, man. Like, no, it ain't about being perfect. And it definitely ain't about, abusing the grace. No, because every time, trust me, there'd be moments where I'm just like, man, this is what I am, bro. Like, I'm stuck like this. You know what I mean? Like, God don't even know why you deal with me. Like, straight up. Like, I blatantly, I'm disobedient. And at that, like, for what, bro? Like, man, look around me. Man, I'm burying my homies. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching their kids grow without their parents. Like, things ain't right at home. You know what I mean? My kids ain't all here. Like, bro, ain't nothing going on for me. Like, man, leave me where I'm at. Straight up. Leave me where I'm at, man. Leave me, you know what I mean? If this is my destiny, if my destiny is hell, you know what I mean? Like, then this is what it is. But God is just like, nah, man, I'm not done with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not that I, like I said, not that I need you. I want you. You know what I mean? And then you get back on your feet. You get back on your feet and you try again. And you
Which
try
matters.
again. And you try again. And you try again. And then eventually those 2 months turn into 3 months. The 3 months turn into 4, 6 months, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next you know, you knock the whole year out and you ain't and you just ain't touched it. You know what I mean? And you just like, man. And now you ain't even thinking about it. And it's crazy because I've been smoking since the age of 10, 11. I gave drugs 25 plus years of my life. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I know. All I know is pull up, roll up. You know what I'm saying?
Who you telling?
Hey, that's all I know. All I know is pull up, roll up, right?
I stopped smoking last year for like 5 months for that.
I bet you felt good.
No, it was straight. It was straight. I really like I did it because I, like you said, 20 plus. I'm like, bro, I've been smoking every day. The only time I didn't smoke was when I went to jail. And then when I fucking I had a job at fucking Patrick Cudahy, and I had to, they was randoms for like 4 months, and I fucking stopped for that 4 months. So all in all, 2 years out of 22.
Yeah.
So I'm at 20. I'm at a dub every day though. Like since the first day I smoked weed, the next day I was trying to smoke. I smoked at least a fucking bowl worth of weed.
Yeah.
Every fucking day since, fam. Like
Yeah.
it's nuts. Like nigga, there's kids out here fucking making millions of dollars off rap and shit.
Yeah.
For less, and they've been alive less time than I've been smoking weed, nigga.
Right. And that's
I'll be like, holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. I've gave 25 plus years of my life to drugs, alcohol, substance, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Let me act like I ain't had my fun with it. You get what I'm saying? Like, let me act like I don't know what it feels like. Like, bro, and trust me, it wasn't easy. You know what I'm saying? But then let's go back to that road. It ain't easy, and man. And if you were that person that gave up everything cold turkey, hey man, you know what I mean? Shout out to you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, shout out to you. Shout out to how you move, man. God.
No, like you know how like I was talking earlier, like, you know, it used to be about like being real niggas and shit, right? Now, when I see a nigga who got that kind of discipline, I be like, you a motherfucking beast, nigga. Fuck that, you a beast. That's some G shit. That's cause, you know, I'm going through it now. Like I'm literally going through it now, bro. I'm trying to transform myself. I let myself get too carried away. I'm a glutton, like a motherfucker. I noticed it. Yeah. I feel it when I do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you know what I mean? So like,
it's hard.
It's super fucking hard.
It's
and I'm
hard.
Like, and I'll be like, because in my mind, I'm like, I don't want that no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
temptation.
It happens. Yeah, it happens. And then after it happens, I'm like, dog, how the fuck I let that bullshit
slip in there?
But right now, as of right now, currently, I'm on it, man. For all the viewers, you know, y'all finna watch the process. I'm finna drop these motherfuckers.
Hey, and here's the thing: when you slip and you mess up, man, you get back up. You know, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be like, man, I'm doing good, and then that holiday comes through.
Oh, that's how I fell off on the bag. No bullshit. That's how I fell off. I was good for it was like 4 months. A birthday party came up.
Hey.
Niggas like, bro, what you mean you ain't gonna hit the blunt? I'm like, nigga, you know, I ain't smoked in like 4 months. They like, bro, it's the birthday party. Thanksgiving right around the corner. You might as well just smoke on special occasions. And I'm like, shit, logically that makes sense, nigga. So I did it. And the next thing you know, I'm full
and let me tell you something on that topic. A lot of times that I did slip and fall, it was because of like that.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the family, shit.
Man, all of that, right? Birthdays, weddings. But it hit me one time. It hit me. We were celebrating my little cousin. He was about to go upstate, right? He had this case. He was fighting it. He knew he was gonna go do time, right? But you know, luckily he was able to fight it, being free. But his sentencing day was coming up, and everybody was celebrating. You know what I mean? Everybody's smoking and drinking. And remember, I'm not smoking and drinking like that, right?
Like you're trying to fall back from it.
Yeah, I'll fall back from it. And I remember, and I lie to you not, I remember in the midst of getting faded and smoking and drinking that I was like, I'm not doing this for him. I'm not doing this for him.
I'm here for me right now.
I'm here for me right now. Yeah. I'm literally using all of these excuses to find a way to justify.
It's your birthday, so I'm here for you, or whatever. Anything.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Like,
I'm trying to.
It's for you. We celebrating and you going away.
You going away. So let me have this last shot with you.
With you.
Yeah, like, And I was trying to justify that. And then that's when I realized that I couldn't do that no more. So that means when I'm at parties now, and I do go to them. You know what I'm saying? The last time I saw you, we were at a party.
Yeah, we was at the bar.
We was at the party. We was at Romines. We was chilling, right? But I've been around them so much to the point where it's like they don't even ask me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, which
But the thing is,
it should be like that.
But
don't fucking ask me if you know.
But the thing is that for the longest they would ask me, and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's your birthday. Why not? I guess I'll turn up with you, whatever."
Yeah.
And remember, in the last 7 years, so how many birthdays I've been through a lot of birthdays. You get what I'm saying?
30, 40 of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So. I stopped justifying why I would do those things. So now when I do go to the events and now when I do go to the things, I'm able to be like, nah, I'm not going to use this for a reason to say, hey, this is why I can. Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's funny because my kids are hilarious, but one thing they always say, they be like, just because you should or just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? They always say that to me because I be like, man, I'm ready to beat you. They be like, hey, pop,
just because you can
don't mean you should.
Don't mean you should.
Yeah. So I gotta learn that. And do I ever feel tempted nowadays? No. But the thing is that God goes deep. You get what I'm saying? Like God is like, okay, cool. You got it all figured out in the out. But what's going on inside?
And now you got to work on that.
Oh my dude, that you talk about that hard? That you talking about like, oh man, you want something?
I know.
Hey, like I said, when he says something in the sense like, you once heard that if you murder a man, you know what I mean, like you committed that sin. But I tell you, even if you hate a brother, like you've already committed murder in your heart. You just as guilty as that person that actually commits that murder. And some people will be like, oh man, that's so far fetched. Why would you go so crazy with that? And then go to say, you know what I mean? It was once said, if a man cheated on his wife, he's an adulterer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I say to you, even if you look at a woman and lust for her in that way, you've already committed adultery in your heart. You see, God searches your heart,
a fucking
your mind.
adulterer.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, all you know is money, sex, and drugs. That's all you know. So in the midst of it, while you beating yourself up, talking about, man, God, why I keep having these thoughts? God knows, but there you go. You're not connecting with him. You're not spending that time with him. You're not. You like you said. You could take everything and you'd be like, one of the words you said was, I'm trying to transform. I'm in the midst of transforming. I'm in the process of transforming. You see, but when you really figure it out, it's just like you can't do it. You know what I mean? That's why we fail at it, because we try to do it. We try to take these problems into our own hands and we try to do it on our own, right? So in the midst of it, it's like, remember what I told you about surrendering, right? God, this drug problem of mine, I give it to you, right? This lustful way of thinking, I want to give it to you, right? And trust me, you do got a part to play in it. But for the most part, it's like, will I surrender this to you? And will I trust you enough to take it out of my life? And even in the processes when I do have bad days and I do relapse or whatever the case may be, I know your grace and your love for me is efficient. Like it's ever flowing forever. And it's not for me to abuse it, because truly when I feel bad when I do something, and when I do something and I'm just like, I will, right? You know it, right? Because I can't hide that from you. But in the midst of all of it, like I said, it comes to a point where you surrender it all and you're just like, God, it's yours, right? Because that's what he says. He goes, you that are a heavy burden and you that carry that, give it to me and take my yoke, because my yoke is light and it's not burdensome. You know what I mean? Like, cast all your problems and your anxiety onto me because I care for you, right? But if you try to take things into your own hands, well, what does that mean? It means that you don't trust God, right? Because you can give me a job to do just as me and you being human beings, right? And you could be like, all right, P, man, look, I'm going to give you this job, right? And then I want you to finish this up by today, right? And then you drive off and you go to your job and you finish early and you think about you're about to go home, right? And you're just like, nah, man, let me go check on P real quick, man, and make sure he's doing everything he got to do, right? It's because something inside of you is like, I trust him, but man, I gotta make sure. I gotta double check. Like, I trust him, but you can never put it past somebody.
You never know, yeah.
Yeah, you never know. So And in our reality, yeah, you may have some trust for me, but you don't have all the trust for me. Not enough trust for you to hop in that car and go straight home and go to sleep without thinking about me at that job.
Right.
You gonna check on me and make sure things are right. Well, if I truly say that I give it to God, right? Well, then I can't question Him, and I can't sit there and be like, but no, let me help out. Like, no, let me do it. No, but what if you don't? What are you trying to say? That I can't? What you really think that I need your help to make this happen for you? Because I don't. But as long as you want to keep your hand on it, by all means, keep it in your control. There's a difference. You want to give him control?
No, it is.
Man, then give him control. Give it to him. Give it to him. You know, and gotta honor your efforts. He'll bless your efforts. He knows when you say no and you say it because you know you're fighting it.
Right.
He knows. You know what I mean? And when every time you make that right decision, he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Man, keep that up. Keep doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah, and let it build. And let it build to the point where you ain't even thinking about it no more. So right now, I'm in a battle of my mind. Right? I can give it the drugs, the alcohol, the women and all that. But now what's in my heart, what's in my mind? Because every now and then I still get them murderous thoughts. You know, every now and then I'm like, man, people still trying me. Every now and then I still want to lash out. You know, every now and then I'm just like, man, I done had enough. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what do you do with that? You know what I mean? Because you're so used to, if someone hurt you, you know what it is, right? Eye for an eye, right? You get me, I'm going to get you, right? Someone trying to cut you down with words and you know them like they know you, oh, you going straight for the jugular. You know what I mean? You know they secrets. You finna put them out. And you may not put them on blast and expose them in front of people, but you'll tell them to their face, like, you know what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it is. I ain't finna tell you in front of all these people, but you and I know. You get what I'm saying? Or someone's messing with something that you love, you care about. It could be your kids, your mom, your sister, right? And they expecting you to react like the old heck. They expecting you to load up, right? And you expecting to do the same. Right? Anybody touch mine, it's on. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Right? Remember, I told you that mentality as a soldier. Right? So what do you do in the midst of that when you know the way that you got to react is in a way where you sit there and you trust God to handle that situation for you? Some of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Right?
Oh, that's super facts, bro. I agree with everything you're saying.
Some of the hardest things I've ever had to do. One time I heard a brother say this. He said one time, my sister was with a bad dude, you know, and he would hit her, whatever. And he was like, and I would always A1, you know what I'm saying? ASAP. I'm over there and I'm putting the dogs on this man. But she just wouldn't leave him alone. You know what I mean? Like one of those, like we whooping him, we beating him up, and you still finding your way back to him, right? Long story short, he gave his life to God, right? And he a gangster, straight certified gangster, right? Got the stripes and all. He said one time this dude put my sister in the hospital and she called me. And she thought she was going, and that I was going to answer the phone and be the old me. He said, I went to the hospital and I seen her. You know what I mean? We got her together. We took her home, whatever. But she thought I was going to go out there and put this man out of his misery. And I had to tell her, when you called me that day, you didn't call the old me. I'm a new person. And for me to fall into the devil's trap like that, is for me to okie doke myself, for me to be a fool, right? Because at any given time, you know damn well that's why you call me. You know how to kill that man.
Yeah, you want me to almost.
Yeah, and at that, you know, I would have went to jail, and I would have went to jail faithfully, and laid it down and just be like, yeah, that's why, right? So what do you do in those times, right? Because trust me, I have them. I have those times where I'm tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the worst.
And at that it be by a person you know.
Yeah, you like absolutely know.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like, you know what I do to you? You know what I do to you? By all means, you know what I do to you. You know, you love saying this like this. You already know how I get down.
Yeah, you already know.
Hey,
like, why would you even do that?
Yeah, well, like you already know what I'm like. I'm dumb. Like you dumb. Like you stupid trying me right now. But you already know. Like I black out. I go stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the bushes. I'm
waiting for your ass.
I'm at your mom's house. Like, you know. And if you listen to you know, and the thing is, a lot of people go, oh, Don P, you know what I mean? Introduce me. Hey, it's my boy Don P. But the thing is, like, I always tell people the same thing. Like, don't, and not in a rude way, but don't call me Don P, right? Because that's who they're like. I don't like Don P. Like, I don't like that man. You know what I'm saying? Because you know who he was. He was the liar, the cheater, the banger,
Damn, that's how I introduced you and shit.
Yeah, but the thing is that you don't know that, right? Because we
right now I know. Shit.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. And that's why on K Dot's album, you know what I mean, D, you see in the credits in the featuring, you see my actual name, right? It's not Don P, you know, it's my actual name. And he was like, why you do that? Because I don't want to be known by that. You get what I'm saying?
Be this now. I want to be me.
Not even like you said. I don't want to be this. Like, this is who I am. Like, I've established myself in this name that holds nothing but bad attitude and bad vibes. And if you listen to my music, right, and you listen to my old music,
go ahead. I want to hear what you about to say.
It's hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, it's hard and it's violent.
Super violent.
It's super violent, and they love it. They love it. They thrive off of it. They thrive off of it, right? And I'm to the point where I'm like, bro, I'm cold. I'm cold, bro. Like, I'm cold at what I do and what I say, and the gangsters feel it because they know it's real. You know what I mean? And they know it's real and they vibe with it. That's why it's just like everybody's just like, man, you give up music, bro. You was cold, bro. You cold. But the thing is, it's just like this. Like, God has always given me that gift. Yeah. And shout out to Curse, because Curse groomed us into rapping, because he always used to rap, right? And we watched him growing up. We watched him rap in a you know, from where he's at now, like, he's full blown studio, you know what I mean? Like, doing good. Crazy. Like, going crazy. And I witnessed him with the 8-track inside the closet. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've seen him from where he came from to where he was, and even rapping before he ever met me. That was Curse, and Curse is very, very, very smart. SG, very, very smart. Very both smart individuals. Very, very talented. Super talented in all kinds of ways.
Shout out to them brothers, man.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Right there.
But one of the most things that I'm grateful for them is it wasn't them telling me, oh, like, rap or whatever. It was them showing me how to think. They were big on you know, carrying yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like Curse got his background. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's certified in so many areas, and a real stand up dude, and has been blessed. You know what I mean? I remember one time I told him, like, bro, like, you call yourself Curse, like, bro, you should have been big blessed.
No, because he stayed blessing motherfuckers, for sure.
But not only that, like, God has blessed him throughout his whole life. He's had a lot of trials and tribulations. But one of the things that I'm always thankful for him and SG is that they never allowed me to stay in the state of mind of being dumb. And it might have been a harsh upbringing. We're like, man, what are you, stupid? Is you dumb? Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it embedded something into me where it was just like, think. Like,
be smart about this, yeah.
Think. Whether it was be smart doing bad stuff or just be smart and just like shaping up, like, be smart. And I thank them for that. And you know, what's crazy is that nobody knows is that when me and SG first started rapping, we used to rap. And what's crazy is that SG came up with this crew. It's called New Testament.
Yeah.
I lie to you not. That was the name. NT, New Testament. And, you know, they put us on the rapping. And one of the things that Curse always said like this, like, he was like, I want y'all to rap, but don't use curse words and don't say the N-word. Because all that does is put in the void of what you really can't say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so...
Which is facts. As a vivid fucking or a avid writer,
yeah, like, you
that's
just
super facts, man. Like,
so,
I definitely put curse words and I say nigga in between.
Yeah, because it'll fill in what you ain't really, you know, you're saying, but it'll help it out to fill out that bar, right? Yeah. So he would always say that, and he put that into us, right? And you know, we ran with that, and it molded us into actually learning how to rhyme, right? And here's one of the things that most people don't know about me is that I don't write rhymes. anything you've ever heard me spit on any song, I've never sat down and wrote it. I can't. Why? Because I get writer's block.
Right.
I grab a pen and paper and I don't know what to say. I have to literally listen to the song and just vibe out. And then come up with it in my head, and then go from there, and then build up to it, and go from there, and go in and building it until I have the whole verse down in my head, and I go in the booth and I spit it, and that's what it is. So he's taught me that, right? But the thing that I love about it is that now what has been molded into this monstrous lyricist, I don't care, I don't give a what, and you know what I'm saying, we gangsters and we shoot things up, and trust me, we out there, we fighting, and we living by what we say, right? Because God rest,
we from that era though.
Yeah, but God rest their souls, but yeah, people really died behind it.
No, that's what I'm saying. We from that era where you had to really be on that. You can, and then you would like be seen about it if you wasn't.
Yeah. And that's why it goes all the way back to the essence of me seeing you in that basement and being like, bro, I see y'all and I like how y'all move, because it never was about the music to me. I never had the drive to become famous. Like, I knew I was from Milwaukee. Right? I knew I was from Milwaukee, and I knew that I had to stay home, you know what I mean, take care of kids. Like, I knew that I couldn't go to California, live out there. I knew I couldn't go to New York and be on the radios and strive for this. And at that, I didn't have any desire to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I did. I had the desire. Yeah. I still do, kind of, but only because, I don't know, I just, I guess it's like almost like it's kind of sucks to give up some shit that you worked so much on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't want to give up. I just want to put the message more in there, friend. And I've always had the message in my music. Always.
Yeah.
If you can listen back to all the way, no matter what, I'm rapping, but I always say something that has to do with, being better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, no matter how thugged out the song was, nigga, I'm on there and I always put something in there. I spit some type of knowledge for motherfuckers.
Yeah, and if you look back, you look at the titles, you look at the aim, like you said, even in the midst of spitting something good, like what was it? I think the first time SG recorded your song at the cemetery, when he first did it, Die Slow. You get what I was saying?
I just dropped Die Slow too. The whole fucking project.
But you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
we embrace that, man. You know what I'm saying? And 95, and I mean, you listen to all those songs, man, and I am on there, and I'm just like, what up?
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of my lines, like I'm itching for problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that drama. Like, I loved it because you know what it was is that it was a sense of suicide. Right, and I go deep into that because there's a sense of being suicidal, right? Actually trying to kill yourself in the sense of grabbing a gun or trying to hang yourself or cut yourself, right? But I was suicidal in a different way, right? I wanted death to come towards me, right? Like, I was inviting it, right? I was telling you, hey, I don't care what you is, like, it is what it is. Like, you see me out, and we're really,
you or me, fam.
Yeah. And I'm really out there. Like, I'm really in the streets. I
almost wish and pray a motherfucker would.
And then tell me, that's not another form of suicide.
No, yeah, it is. It's absolutely. It's the first episode I ever did with Croft is called Culture Cyanide.
Yeah.
And that's what we touched on. Like, we call it culture, bro, or not we should per se, but the overall term right now is culture. Like, do it for the culture. This is the culture. But really, that shit cyanide, bro. We're just killing ourselves with the shit we're intaking, the shit we're pushing, the shit we're, and it's like, and it's been like that forever. Even worse now that these niggas ain't even on that shit. Like, not only is it bullshit and the path is fucking already in disarray, fam, y'all niggas don't even be on that shit. Y'all don't even really be out here doing it. Mm-hmm. And then when you do it recklessly, and like, innocent motherfuckers get popped, stupid shit happens, and y'all niggas don't even know what the fuck you doing. Everybody tell on each other. It's like, it's crazy, bro. It's fucking nuts.
And that's what I'm telling you. When you step away from all of that and you look at it in the aspect of all of what we discussed in this last 2 hours, right? And you look at it and you realize there's a common enemy that we all have.
Exactly.
Right? There's a common enemy that we all have, right? And God is letting you know, y'all ain't doing nothing but the devil's work. That's it.
You're playing into it.
You're
every
playing.
fucking day.
You're playing into it, and you're justifying why you're doing it. By all means necessary, you are, right? So now, when people play my music, I don't even want to hear it. People go, "Oh man, oh no, man, and I always say the same thing, bro. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear myself in it. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear because honestly, every now and then, like I'll come across it, people that listen to it. It makes me feel away. And what I mean by that, it makes me feel like I want to get on something.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, street music?
Yeah, that's me.
Street music?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Street music? And what's crazy is I did street music, and when I walked out the booth, they were looking at me like, bro.
Yeah, that shit was the shit.
What you want? Like, what you want? Like, and the thing is that, man, it gives such a devious, devilish vibe.
Man.
And it gets you on that, right? And what's crazy is that I don't think it I'd like to say that it has, and I whatever plays its part in it, but you got to remember who the devil was, right? He was a fallen angel, right? He's Lucifer,
yeah,
right? And what was Lucifer? You know what he was? He was like, he ran the music in heaven.
Oh, see, I never knew that.
Yeah, like he was, See,
music can also inspire.
Oh, of course,
like,
because
so
because you worship God. You get what I'm saying? You're praising God through worship, through music, right? Because back in the day, they had the hymns and they praised God, right? So that's why, if you ever hear anything from me ever again, it will be solely to praise and worship God.
Right.
And that's why I did Angels with K-Dub. And that was
because your verse got to be exactly what you wanted it to.
And at that, even though he was on there and he cursed and whatever, and I told him, I said, hey man, I said, this is the last song I ever do with anybody, as far as like in the mainstream sense of allowing myself to be on a track that has that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, but it's almost like he spits his verse. And remember, he's in the midst of his pain, and he's talking about how his angels left him, and and he just wants his angels back, and he's going through this and he's going through that, and then here I come and I rebuttal to it is just to be like, nah, man, like they're here, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, which I love that song.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying, and not once did I come off in a murderous way. Not once did I curse. Not once did I do anything. And people will come up to me and give me the same love and same excitement to it,
right.
And just as they would as if I was.
It didn't have to be all that shit.
It never had to be that. It never had to be that. It could have always been that. It could have always been what God has given to me to put out there and do something good with it. Right? It always could have been that. Now I don't mean to take up time because I don't know how long these things actually go for.
Yeah, shit. In closing, we'll do it. In closing,
yeah.
What's the So I want you to say, because this is the opportunity right here for you to, I don't got a huge audience yet, whatever, but one day I will. I already know I will.
Yeah.
And the reason I have people come on here and talk, like, this is the first time that I had anybody talk about stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not going to be the last. I want a panel. I want to have you, Croft, Sinister. I want to have everybody, like a big one where it's
and because like I said, I do tune in, right? Because I am one of the audiences, and what you said, Croft. How do you say his name? Mike Croft.
Yeah.
Croft. One of the things that he said, it dawned on me where he was like, I'm just a piece of whatever, trying to do better.
Yeah.
And my encouragement to him, and I know that he knows this, is that that's just the enemy beating him down.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because obviously, like I said, we're not perfect, and we really trying to walk on this thing, but it does take discipline, and it does take obedience, right? But but it's not that he needs, but we need. We need like-minded, you know what I'm saying? We need that someone that's gonna be like, nah, man, like we're gonna get you on, and you're gonna stay on, and you need men to hold you accountable, right?
Yeah.
You need people to hold you accountable for your actions and everything. So not that I didn't understand what he said, but I just want to if I could say, like, nah, man, like, keep your head up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have your moments, and by all means,
I know. I was like, for real, nigga, me too.
hey,
shout out to Croft though. That's one of the brothers, bro. Like, for real.
And by all means, this is why it's Unite Ministry. It's Unite Ministry, Walker's Point, and that's where we're starting. And my leader, he says to me, like, hey man, I don't just want it to be Walker's Point. One day I needed to be Silver City. One day I needed to be Bayview. One day I needed to be Third Ward. One day I needed to be, until we're spread it out and we're sticking in the community. We're not based in one place where only you can come see us on Sundays and Wednesdays. No, we want to be in the streets with you. We want to be in the group homes. We want to be in the shelters. We want to be everywhere with you and let you know that, hey, you know what I'm saying? This is church without no walls. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And we wanna meet these basic needs. So we need to be together, right? Because the whole mission in Unite is to unite people to God, for one and foremost, right? And to unite people together, right? People like Croft and me and Chico, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then to unite the churches. You know what I'm saying? Because you have so much division in it, and God already warned us of that. Jesus already warned us. People are going to say this, and people are going to say that, and it's going to become divided. But if we're all one body, then why is there so much division?
And it's coming like super fast. It's falling apart, like, and
because people are shying away from that.
He said it was going to happen.
People are shying away from that. Why? Because it cuts off and trust me when I say this, some people are shying away from that because it benefits them, right? They really want to. They really want to hold on to their traditions, right? A lot of it is man-made traditions, right? It has nothing to do with actually what's being told and for us to do. A lot of it are man-made traditions. That's why you got, so many different religions, but we all believe in the same God. And one of the things that people say when they meet us sometimes, they go, I'm not a religious person. My response to it is either am I. I'm not a religious person either. I'm not into the traditions and whatever. I'm into what God said, and God is about relationship. Right. That's what he's about. He's about you getting to know him and spending time with him and building and also doing what he's asking you to do in the will for your life for him, right? That's why it goes in the Lord's Prayer, right? In the Father's Prayer, like, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, shall be done. Your will be done on earth and in heaven. Your will, right? So it always goes, and it even goes to when Jesus was in the garden and he was on his last day, and he asked God, he said, God, take this cup away from me. You know what I mean? Because he knew what he had to do, right? But in his agony and his pain, he still had a moment where he was like, is there any other way that this can be done? But then in the sense of it being like, but immediately after saying, God, take this cup away from me, he said, but let your will be done and not mine. So he drank that cup and he laid down his life. His life wasn't taken from him. You know what I mean? His life wasn't taken from him. You know what I mean? He laid it down. Yeah. And that's the point, right? And that's why he says, anybody that wants to follow me, you have to lay down your life and pick up your cross, right? You have to walk down that road. Imagine that road he had to walk down, right? He's getting whooped, he's getting beaten, gruesome death, gruesome, beaten to the point where they say he was unrecognizable, right? And a just man. So imagine if you thought it was going to be, all sweet to take this road, nah, because you're gonna experience that. Your family's gonna turn on you. Your friends are gonna laugh at you. The girls in your life ain't gonna be there no more. The drugs you can't run to no more. Yeah, you about to go through it. Most definitely, you about to go through it. You can lose everything that you love in the sense of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to literally give up everything to gain it all. Give up everything so you can have it all. And if that don't make sense to you, then by all means, continue to live in the way that you want to live. But when you're pushing that 40, 50 and you're still feeling that void in your life, that's because something is missing. And it's only made for one person to fill it up. And like I said, I stand on what I believe in, right? I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe he died. I believe he died on the cross for me. I believe he was resurrected on the third day. That's where my faith lies in. Because without the resurrection, without the resurrection of Jesus Christ, then my faith means nothing, right? Because God knew that you were gonna fail the laws. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, you just made the laws or whatever, but God knew you were gonna fail the laws. You know what I'm saying? But if the laws were what was gonna save you and get you into heaven, then what was the point of Jesus Christ dying on the cross? It's obsolete. It means nothing. So that's what my faith base is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I stand on. And like I said, Croft, man, like by all means, man, keep your head up and keep pushing and look for them men that are like minded and you know what I mean, and keep thriving, man. Keep thriving.
Yeah, I think y'all brothers should definitely link because I'm not on I'm not on as high as a plane as he is with it. You know, he's like he knows what you be knowing. You know what I mean? Like the way y'all speak and the way y'all just know the scripture and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy with it. Like
well,
it's crazy to hear you speak to when you say that because it just goes to show how intelligent y'all brothers are, bro. Because y'all just know you retain that so well, fam. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just there, and you know it. So it's like I said when I was talking to Chico the last time. Anything I said, I would say, and he would be like, "Yeah, that's crazy," because the scriptures say, and then it's like it intertwines so much. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I'm 100% like on board with the whole, you know, with the, I don't want to call it idea because I'm trying to say some deep shit right now, but like I believe in all that, you know what I mean? It's just, I guess I'm so jaded on how fucking fake motherfuckers have been and like the research and the evidence that it's just been all bullshit for so long that it's crazy to, you know what I mean, to me, for me to be like, you know, so I just keep it personal, really. Like,
no, you know, and everything is misrepresented at some point. You know, sometimes I meet people and I gotta apologize on the misrepresentation of who God truly is. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have conversations with grown people, and some people will tell me straight like this, like, that's a white man's religion. You like, people still got the mindsets of that's what that is. You get what I'm saying? Like, like, no, man, dig into your roots, know your culture, know your Mexican people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, figure out where you come from. And you feel like, bro, I know where I come from. And trust me, if you want me to look at my, you know, my history and who my people were, man, they were savages. You know what I mean? Like, but also they were good people, whatever the case may be. But if you really want me to dig deep into all of that, hey, man, by all means. But even they believed in the God, right? They believed in the sun God, right? And they sacrificed their kids and women and men. Like, you know, what's crazy about the history of men and women and believing in God, what did they all do? They all sacrificed something. Yeah. And they all sacrificed something in a way of,
well, that's because, like,
well, blood. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Well, for me, it's like literally, I think it's all the same shit. They just don't know how to interpret it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you look at it and you look at the existence of it, man, all that stuff is gone. You know what I mean? All of that's gone. You know what I mean? And the only thing really floating around is if God is real, if He ain't. You know what I'm saying? But it's thriving. And trust me, as big as the churches are around here, and you see a church on every building, man, trust me, there's a lot of people out there that's ready to get in revival and get into these communities, right? And it's a sort of thing called like micro churches, man. And I'm not gonna even say it's a new wave because it's been out there. You just don't hear about it, right? Because they're in the hoods. They ain't opening up big churches. Nah, they doing it right side of the house. You know what I'm saying? And they're meeting people's needs in the neighborhood. If you can help block by block, you know, don't think that your $1 can't make a big difference. And sort of say, metaphorically speaking, don't think that your $1, because you want to help out. You be like, man, but what's this little $5 gonna do, right? Or what's this little dollar gonna do? Trust me, we'll stretch that. We'll stretch that a long way because your dollar to turn into 2, and the 2 to meet the next to the 3, and the next thing you know, we sitting on a couple thousands to make a difference. And that's what I'm talking about, meeting people's basic needs. And the other cat, I know you wanted to say something real quick as far as, do I want anything to say? Like, you know, I cut you off on that.
No, it's cool. Just I was just saying, like, in closing, you know, get your shit off. Like, obviously, y'all, I don't think y'all got like no Instagram or no shit like that.
I mean, they do.
You know, you said United Ministry.
Unite Ministry, Walker's Point. You know, you can find them on Facebook
Oh,
and
they got all that?
Instagram. Yeah, they do. You know what I mean? I don't personally. I don't.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Maybe I'm out the circle, but I'm glad to be out that circle. I never was.
Shit,
You can
man,
you can never find me
Ever.
hey,
Ever, nigga.
Hey, young people.
You
hey,
can't
man,
tag this nigga. You can't do nothing. This nigga is not there, man.
No, I'm not nowhere to be seen
That's
on,
crazy.
on social
No bullshit.
media.
That's crazy you said that. Like, that's facts. I don't think I've ever in life seen even a picture of this nigga on Facebook.
Besides from the homies, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if you in the cut, like
in the cut,
and the
but
videos and shit.
but they definitely do. They definitely do, man. And you know, you see, you know, we on the prayer walks, man. We doing the banquets for you know, the homeless. You know, we, like I said, we in the group homes, man. And that's not the. I'm not saying anything that's not seen, because at the same time, like I said, I don't want to be like, oh, we do this, we do that, and no, not by all means. But I do want to let you know.
No, it's just proof though.
I do want to let you know, and then the thing is that we don't even need that. You know what I'm saying? Because
no, it's not that you need it. It's just that it's there.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's there.
it's there.
So what I mean by me saying that is that I don't feel bad saying it. You get what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't there, I don't think I'd like to say it. You get what I mean?
No,
like,
right.
Because, you know, and it's kind of like you said, Chico, everything, you know, twine back in the scripture, you know, because God says, you know, when you give to the poor, you know, don't shout it out with the trumpets, and when you pray, man, don't do it in the public for the people that want to be seen, you know, because when they help out the poor and they televise it, you know, that's the only reward they're gonna get. But do everything in secret. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. Exactly. And when you pray to the Father, pray in secret, because He sees everything. You know what I mean? Like, do what you do, man, and do it when nobody got to see it. You get what I'm saying? So when you give and you do all those things, man, you don't got to tell everybody about it, because the only person that need to know about it knows about it. And what's the other dude's name that does the videos that you had up in here too? Kenzie. You know, one of the things that I took away from his interview was, and not saying that's all I took away from Crawford's statement.
Right.
No, he was speaking facts, and you guys were having a good time. But one of the things I took from Kenzie was is his invitation, right? He said, "Man, anybody that want to get on board with what's moving, because it's moving, right? Man, one of the things that always been good, and I believe it's good for everybody, is documentaries.
Yeah.
So, you know, when Kenzie sees this, because I'm sure he will, man, documentaries on the city, man. You know, people, like you said, people, are you from Wisconsin? Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin, from Milwaukee. You know what I mean? And be it as it may, like, you know, you moved around and you wasn't always from here, but man, it's a lot of good things going on here, and there's a lot of bad things going on here.
Yeah.
And it should be documented. And things should be documented. You know why? Because when documentaries come out and the more people get to see what's unseen, the more and more the cries get heard. You know what I mean? The suffering gets heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because man, all day long, Fox 6, you know, TMJ, man, all it is, man, who got shot, who got killed, who got shot, who got killed.
Man,
you know what I mean?
I know a teenager just got popped, bro. Died at 14.
Man,
personally, no fan.
Yeah, and what's crazy is last year, 22, 23, and you know, in the 20s,
yeah,
all kids murdered by guns, and ranging from the ages of 5 to 17. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, man, during last year, you know, we went on a couple walks with the parents that lost their kids to gun violence, and the little girl that got shot with her sister over there on 5th. Like, we was out there. You know what I mean? Which
is nuts, bro. Like, you out here killing.
But it's kids killing kids.
People, yeah.
And it's grown people killing kids too, because at one point in time, you used to ride your bike in the neighborhood, right? You used to ride your bike in the neighborhood. And then when you hit 11, you rode that bike, then all of a sudden grown men started asking, hey, where you from? You was no longer a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, where you from? Well, what you mean? I'm from here. I'm on the same block. But now you're growing up. And it's that animal instinct, right? Because when
it's there.
Yeah, because you know, when the lions kill the other lions, what do? They kill their cubs too, because they know they're gonna grow up and be a threat. Facts. So what do gangsters do? They kill off the young because they know they're gonna come back and they're gonna come 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Right?
And they don't think about it.
They don't think about it.
I didn't think about nothing until I was at least fucking when I had my daughter when I was 27, fam.
And who's wild? Who you got to watch out for? It's not so much of the OGs that you watch out for.
No,
it's the young
ones. Yeah.
It's the young
niggas
wild.
who don't give a fuck. They get points for that shit.
Yeah.
My brother always told me that shit, nigga. When you a big homie, nigga, that's like 50 points, nigga.
No,
you get more points for the more stature, like the more status, nigga. You fuck up, that's the more points you get. Like that's
well, that's the truth, because even when I was young, I never wanted to shoot a young dude. I never wanted to, have gunfight with a young dude. No, I want a trophy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it's
I want,
a fucking trophy.
I want to knock the head off, because without the head, then the little ones scatter, and they're gonna end up pancaking anyways and switching over to another gang. Yeah. But man, what a messed up way to grow up.
Yeah, it's fucking it's dire, bro. And I'm telling you, in this, it's the mentality could really just put your whole life into a state of fucking just craziness, because we ain't never had shit, but I always had potential, and I was always a prized fucking, like, I just had potential. I was super fucking smart when I was in elementary, like dumb smart, bro.
Yeah.
And then I took a test one time, and then they fucking brought my parents in there, and they was like, "Hey, look at these tests. He's declining and shit, and like, is something going on at home?" Like, it was fucked up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I didn't even know. And then, we get down the fucking path and shit, and I literally mentally, like, when I went to jail because I thought I had to handle my business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you call me? They was calling me a snitch. They was all kind, like, nigga, I never even been in trouble. What the fuck? Who the fuck am I telling? I never. And it's some white boys and shit, like up north, but they was like had they little gang, like niggas that you know what juggalos are.
What, like the clowns and stuff?
The ICP niggas, yeah. That's what them niggas was. And then them niggas was like, but them niggas, they had a little drug trade and shit. They had niggas, and their little leader ass nigga was talking shit. Never even met this nigga, bro. But I went to jail because I thought I had to, bro. Like, not that I thought I had to go to jail, but I was like, I gotta go fuck these niggas up, bro.
Righteously.
Yeah, I have to, the nigga that and putting myself out here to be, which I never even really was on that. I don't give a fuck about. I really didn't give a fuck about, like.
It hurt your pride, though.
No, see, but look, I had to build that pride. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm getting to. I built that pride because as a kid, nigga, blah, blah, I don't care, bro. I was never like, what you mean, nigga? No, I was always like, okay, man, motherfucker, like, I don't care, bro. Go over there, I don't care, bro. Like, my brother pushed that shit into me.
Yeah.
Like, nah, fuck that, nigga. You can't let these, fuck that, nigga. You finna, and I had to be like, and then when he wasn't around, I'm by myself, I seen how it worked for them, so I wanted that.
Yeah.
Nigga, 50 Cent came out.
Get Rich Dad Trying. That's 03.
You already know. That was our prime. I was 15.
Yeah.
He was 16.
Yeah, that was me too.
You know what I mean? Like, so that was like, nigga, when that came out, it was like, I have to have enemies, nigga. I have to be out here. I'm the hardest nigga ever, fam. Like, it has to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, So when I called my case, it was like, shit, I gotta go. These niggas slandering my name. I done beat these niggas up and they still talking shit.
Yeah.
They threatening me, my sister at school and shit. I'm like, I gotta ride on you niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Call my case. Every nigga, 4 of them niggas, every nigga I hit with because I hit niggas with a bat and shit, whatever. But every nigga that shit happened to was literally on the thing like, that's him right there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What?
For sure. No, it goes that way though, because that's why I go to like people trying you and you like, bro,
fam.
fam. Yeah, because
like,
you the first one to call the police and do all that stuff. Like, no, for sure.
I learned that the hardest of ways.
Yeah,
bro. But yeah, like that's the type of shit that that. When you grow up that way, fam, you never even think. Then I think about my kids, and they got TikTok and all that dumbass shit. And I be like, man, get the fuck off. I give them super strict times now, like an hour at the max. No, that's it, man. Get the fuck off of that, like because I already know. Like,
what's on
that
it?
Shit fucked me up. Like, I'm telling you, I thought I had to, fam.
Yeah, and not only that, man, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy what they pushing on the kids, but that's a whole different thing, man.
That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, man.
I'm gonna have one like that too. I already.
And it's crazy because here's one thing I'll close out with, man. Through all of that, right? Through all that, man. What a crazy life. What a crazy bringing. What a messed up mentality. Let me tell something for everybody that sort of say made it, right? And then when I mean made it is like you still alive through all of that, right?
Right.
Man, what a beautiful testimony you are, right? You see, all of the stuff that you went through wasn't for nothing, right? All of that pain and all of that suffering, it had a purpose behind it. And it wasn't for you to grow up and get big and be like, man, see, I made it and now I'm doing my thing. But it was in a way to take all of that and let it be a testimony, and for you to help out the next little heck, that's growing up. And I'm talking about all the way back to when you were in the house with the mom and dad, and you had to go through the breakup and you had to go through the split up, like for all of that, because guess what? That is a recurring thing. It's happening crazy rapidly, and you, as everything, all the knowledge that you obtain through that lifestyle is ultimately can stop and completely change and alter the life of the next little young boy that's growing up in that, and telling them, hey, before you go down that route, let me tell you something. And that's for me, right? So now I'm out here like, hey man, before you go down that route, because those teenage years are vital, right? You either gonna go left or go right? And you want to go right because you don't want to get left behind, right? But now I'm out here and being like, nah, man, I know how you feel, right? I know what you're going through. I know your options right now. I know your options are go home to that messed up house that you don't want to be in, or go off into the streets where also you don't want to be in, but you'd rather be there than be at home where it's dysfunctional. And then you don't want to think about what you left behind, so you're going to turn to that drug, you're going to turn to that substance. But here's the thing. Come try this out. You know what I mean? Before you try everything else out, man, let me show you something that I wish someone would have showed me a long time ago in a proper way, right? And broke it down to me. And because I can relate to you, I can break it down to you in a term that you understand, right? And one thing you should always know is that God ain't no punk. Never been, you know what I mean? There's nothing about him. You can read from front to back, cover to front. You know what I'm saying? Like, cover to back, bro. Like, there's nothing about him that says this is less of anything that I would love to be. Nothing, right? And here's one of the things that I said about, the Bible. And what's crazy is that back then, that's not what they called it, right? Because obviously it wasn't around. They were still writing, right? And they had, the Torah and all that stuff. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they read the scriptures. We call it the Bible, right? But here's the thing. So many people got so many things to say about it, right? Like I said, oh, that's a white man's religion, or so many men wrote that book. But here's the thing. Man, pick it up, read it, right? Because if not, then you know what you're doing? You're judging a book by its cover. You see that it says the Bible on it, and you think you know everything that's in there. But you ain't got the slightest clue that every question that you've ever had in life is answered in that book. And like I said, it wasn't the whole, oh, this is Jesus, this is God, but it was the love that won me over, right? And one statement that I made a couple months back ago, I was in church and I was smiling. My wife was like, why are you smiling? And I said, you know what? I said, I can't remember the last time I felt unloved. And my whole life I felt unloved. Whether that was from my parents, whether I was just being in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, I know my homies loved me for whatever they thought what love was. But I can't remember genuinely the last time I felt unloved. And I done been through plenty of stuff prior to all of that, and in the midst of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, in the midst of it, I done took the same losses that I took when I didn't have God in my life. In the midst of it, I done took the same, you know what I mean? Like, didn't have nothing, how I'm going to eat, like, what's the next dollar going to bring, whatever the case may be. But I can't remember the last time I felt unloved. And that right there blew my own mind to the point where I was just smiling. Like this, like, dang, bro, what got you so happy? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, let me tell you, man, it's the love. It's the love from my Father. And the same love that he got for you. And the same love that he got for the next of kin. Man, I'm telling you. You done gave everything else a try. Man, give God a try. That's it, man.
That's fast.
So I'll leave it like that.
Man, in rotation, this shit went crazy. 3 hours.
That's
We
how long.
going crazy.
That's how long it been.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't. What you gonna break down in the segment part 1, part 2?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But but fuck that, because I got a whole fuck
Man,
that.
but do that because you know people get tired. You know what I'm saying? They be
Yeah,
like,
right,
man,
right.
bro, they still talking, bro.
Look at that.
Hey man, let's get it because it's a you know what I mean. It's
No,
just
but
good.
we had to get that shit off, bro. I appreciate you coming through, fam.
Man, I appreciate
In
you
rotation,
having
the
me, man.
podcast. It's another one. Let's get it.
Hey.